Hello everyone, it's me, William McQueen, and I am back here at the Brass Armadillo here in sunny Goodyear, Arizona for a second video. I made another video about a year ago talking about the paranormal activity that was taking place around the glass case area of this antique mall, and I'm back with more information because I understand there's other things that have been taking place. So join me, please. For all you folks that may happen to have a mine shaft tucked away somewhere on your property, I know where you can get some equipment. Here's stuff you don't see every day. Hello. Good. How are you doing today?
Thank you.
That's good.
Have you been here before?
Oh yes, thank you.
Welcome back.
Thank you so much. Here's Bob in charge of security. Not for sale, but there he sits keeping an eye on things. That, I think, is very clever. CPR Collectibles, breathing new life into old treasures. That is clever. Wow, this place is a hoot. Just look at all the stuff in this place. This place is literally jam-packed with every type of item you can imagine. There's plenty of places for a friendly spirit, maybe even not so friendly, who knows, where they could hide out, have some fun, terrorize a worker or two. Since the last time I was here, I understand there's been a lot more activity. Last time, the activity seemed to be localized to the glass cases pretty much down in that end of the store, but now it's covering a much wider area, including the upstairs here where I'm walking right now. As early as this past Saturday, which was October 5th, 2019, when the workers were closing the store, they heard footsteps of people running up here, but there was no one here. But there were footsteps running back and forth. It was quite creepy from what I understand. And that's just the beginning. There's a lot more to tell. And who knows? Hopefully, maybe we can coax a spirit out to play. But unfortunately, it seems as though the spirits tend to be a little on the camera shy side. But still, there's a lot of places to explore, a lot of things to see. And let's just find out what we can uncover, shall we? My gosh, you just have to love the Brass Armadillo at Halloween time. Well, there's certainly no shortage of ghosts here. Not the ethereal type I'm hoping for, but still, they're cute. I always love this kind of wind chime. Reminds me of the kind my mom and dad had when I was growing up. I'm here inside the Brass Armadillo, and I've been speaking with Juanita. She's one of the vendors here, and she has some interesting information about some activity that has occurred here in, over the course of time. But this is Juanita. Say hi.
Hi.
So is there anything you'd like to say or anything about some of the activity that's been occurring here?
I've closed a couple of times, well, over the last few years or whatever, and we've always had an eerie feeling when we're closing, when the lights start going off, because sometimes, without question, we'll hear music on one of the items, like a musical box, come on. And there's always been an eerie feeling on a Saturday night. You can hear things shift, fall, or whatever sometimes when we're closed on a Saturday.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, that always makes for a pleasant working experience.
Right.
Yes, thank you. And she's also told me about some other interesting information that's occurred here, and I'll be getting into that in just a little bit. But in the meantime, Juanita, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it.
All right, enjoy.
Thank you. Oh, look. Shiny, bright Halloween ornaments. I've never seen that before. Well, this is a different kind of pumpkin. Never saw anything like that before. There's a story behind every item in this entire place. Some items are filled with love, joy, and happiness. Others with sadness, tragedy, and despair. My friend here, he's a little tight-lipped on this subject. He's not saying much about what goes on around here. I'm sure he has a story to tell all his own. What that is, we'll never know. But if there are some spirits or ghosts or whatever you want to call them that are connected to any of the items here in the store, you'll be hard-pressed to find out which ones. Each item here is waiting to go to a new home and have a new story. But in the meantime, a lot of these items will sit here. Some will be bought. Some will be forgotten and abandoned. Some will be loved. Others tucked away somewhere and not seen again for years. Which is sad, really, considering the history behind a lot of the merchandise here. But meanwhile, let's see what we can find out. Let's dig a little further into the store, into the merchandise, and see if we can find out a little bit more about what we came to discover. Now, Juanita and a few other vendors around here have told me a few stories, some of which I can't repeat because they promised the people that they happened to that they would keep it confidential. So it's not going to go any further than me. But it's a shame, too, because some of the stories were pretty good and pretty enlightening as far as some of the stuff that goes on around here. But there is one area in particular which may or may not be significant. I don't know. You see, a friend of mine, Karina, she visited here several months ago, and she said that she felt very uneasy in a particular area of this store. And she said she's never felt that before, but she couldn't wait to get out of that one area. It's a location under the stairs, one of the areas under the stairs here. And she said she was looking at a shelf and for about 30 seconds, and then she moved on to the shelf next to it. Well, right after she moved on to the next shelf, a doll where she had just been standing fell over. For no reason. It just fell. She couldn't wait to get out of there. And I know that my wife, that she and I shop here periodically. But when we are here, my wife says that she can sometimes sense and feel like we're not alone. It's not something you can quite put your finger on, but it's a sensation that there's somebody standing nearby you, even though there isn't. There's no one there, but you feel like there is, like you're being watched. And several workers here have told me that they've seen other workers, in the back of the store, and they'll rush to the front, their faces white as could be, and they're terrified of something. But, some things they can tell you that they've seen or heard. Other times it's just a feeling that they get, and they can't be back there, be alone. And it turns out that this one particular area around the stairs, there was a tragedy that befell that the people that owned the merchandise in that one spot. It was a husband and wife, and they ran this one particular area where their merchandise was back there, and they've been doing this for quite some time. Well, apparently, he ended up murdering his wife. It didn't happen here. It happened at their house. He murdered his wife and son, and he went to jail for it. He may have died in jail. I'm not sure. He was up in age. I know that. But some people attribute the fact that maybe her ghost is here, but I don't understand how that could be, because if the murder took place here, then I could understand her ghost being here, because that would be the scene of the tragedy. But it happened elsewhere, so I tend to think that that isn't exactly the case. And we have to start looking elsewhere for answers. But still, it's interesting. If nothing else, it's definitely interesting. Here it is, the infamous area beneath the stairs. One of them, anyway. This here happens to be one of the hotbeds of activity. One of many. These areas as well, also. As well as down here. Right down in this area. My name is William. How are you today? Could you give me a sign that you're here? Is there something you would like to say? Can you give me a sign that you're here? You don't need to be afraid of me. Just give me a sign. I just want to talk. You don't need to be afraid. If you could just give a sign. Something over here just fell. I don't know what the hell that was. What was it? So much stuff back here. Came from over here. Okay, that was weird. I'm gonna step out here for a second. Excuse me. Earlier this afternoon, when that ghost gave me the sign by making a very loud noise, I forgot to tell you all that that noise took place right next to me. And I do these videos by myself, so it's not like there's anyone else around that can make that noise. So, and the funny thing was, I wasn't really expecting a sign, you know, so it kind of took me by surprise. And the ghost is probably thinking, oh, he's probably, you know, laughing his butt off, thinking, oh, here he asked for a sign, I give him one, and that's how he reacted. So, anyway, Ghost, I am sorry. I apologize for my reaction. But thank you for the sign, by the way. I do appreciate that. And if you're interested, you can always give me and the workers another one this evening. What is it that possesses the spirits to stay in this store and roam these aisles? Why can't they move on? What is it that keeps them here? If only we knew. I've been invited by management to return to the Brass Armadillo just before closing on Saturday night, because they say the majority of the paranormal activity occurs after the closing hours. and I was invited to see if anything will occur while I'm there. They say that things don't happen every night after closing, but the majority of the activity seems to occur when all the vendors and everyone goes home and it's just the workers shutting down for the night. Well, let's find out and see if that's true tonight. It's just before 9 o'clock here at the bottom floor. Not a lot of customers at this point. Place is getting ready to shut down. Plenty of opportunities for activity. Will any occur? Okay, the store is closed now. There's no customers, there's no vendors, just the workers. And only a handful of them and myself. They've graciously allowed me to stay here after closing to see if anything interesting is happening. It's very quiet here. There's no music. It's very quiet. Let's see if anything happens. Well, they turned the lights out, and I guess it's time to do like a walkthrough around the store. As you can see, it's very quiet, and there's no noise. Let's see if we can find out anything interesting. I'm told that most of the stuff that happens takes place at the back end of the store. Let's see what we can find out. What you're about to see are going to be two walkthroughs after closing. The first one of the workers, a girl, took me through and walked me around the facility to make sure all the doors were locked and there were no customers and so on and so forth. And she showed me various places and told me a little bit about her experiences. The second walkthrough was going to be with management after all the workers went home. It was just going to be me, Danny, the assistant manager, and Danny's friend. And we were going to walk through just to make sure that, everything was the way it was supposed to be. I'm sorry?
You can tell me if you need me slower.
Oh, no, you're fine, you're fine. I'm just walking. We're taking a tour through the store right now. Doing like a final walkthrough at the end of the night, make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be.
Just clean.
Yeah, just clean supplies. I don't know if you want to be on camera or not, but...
Not my face.
Okay, no,
I
that's
don't
fine.
mind either way.
Okay, so I'll just do this ahead of you. I'm told this is the area where that Eugene and his wife used to have his merchandise right back here by the stair area.
I heard it was one of the rooms, actually.
Really? Okay.
I've been quite recent to working here, though. But you always hear things. There was a clock back there that it would go off as you passed it.
Yeah.
It would scare me every time. And sometimes it would go off twice, and so you're like, who's behind me kind of thing, you know?
Wow. Okay.
So I think one of these rooms, actually.
Well, it was one of these rooms this afternoon where something made a noise. I can't
Did it?
remember which one. I kind of went to different ones. Okay. So, do you go upstairs or just?
Not usually.
Okay.
Unless I hear something weird, and
Okay.
then I'll scope. I don't like to scope.
Ah,
But
gotcha.
sometimes the radios in here at night will play. And that's not fun either.
No, and I hear that sometimes plates will break. And
Yeah.
someone was telling me about a music box that started on its own.
Mm-hmm.
They heard voices and different things.
Me and Daniel heard one time it almost sounded like a jar of marbles rotating.
Okay, so we're doing a walkthrough here. I have. I'm sorry, what's your name, sir?
Daniel.
Daniel, he is the assistant manager here. And I'm sorry, your name, sir?
Taylor Noonan, assistant manager's friend.
We are taking a bit of a walk through here and see if something interesting occurs. Where do you guys want to take me? Right down here? Okay. They prefer not to be on camera, so I am leading the way with my camera here. So what can you guys tell me a little bit about what's been going on here?
We always hear, like running or stomping or, just cracks and creaks and, broken merchandise and stuff. So
Right.
something else is doing it.
What did we hear the one time? It sounded like a ding or
Yeah.
a ring.
There's like a dinner bell that dings in here too.
Yeah, and it was in the back far corner.
Interesting. All right, so you're just going straight, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard some interesting things. This is the area where I told you about that mirror, right in that corner. That's from what I was told. So straight or that way?
Keep going straight.
Okay.
That way we do full lap runs.
Okay. So far, we haven't really heard much. I heard a couple of small sounds earlier in the center of the store, but that could be attributed to a piece of merchandise just winding down or settling. Hopefully, we'll find something a little more definitive. It's a big store. Very big store.
We've heard some stuff in this room before, right here.
Heard something in this store before?
Because there's the back of the staircase right there.
Okay, the back of the staircase is right in this area here. Yeah, as you can see I don't know if you can see it in the dark here, but there's the slope of the stairs. Okay. Once again, we're on the stairway area. It's very quiet.
Usually it's not this quiet. Usually you hear cracks or something at least.
Oh, of course, naturally, the night I'm here. So, naturally.
Yeah, there's quite a few things.
Yeah. Interesting. Not, yeah. Not much here. Okay. Lots of dark rows here. And hopefully the ghost makes an appearance fast, because I'm quickly running out of memory on this phone. Unfortunately, halfway through the nightly tour of the Brass Armadillo, my phone's memory was completely exhausted, and I couldn't continue recording. But needless to say, there was no paranormal activity that was discernible. A couple of minor sounds that could be attributed to almost anything. But Danny, the assistant manager, did say one thing, that the store was unusually quiet. He doesn't remember ever being that quiet before. So that in itself was unusual. The fact that there was no noise of any sort, aside from the air conditioner and things like that. But he said that was very unusual. So maybe that in itself could be attributed to something. You never know. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem as though the ghosts are very active tonight. During the final walkthrough, we did hear a couple of small sounds deeper into the center of the store. Whether or not that was attributable to paranormal activity or not, I don't know. Who's to say? But in the meantime, it's just a shame. I was hoping to catch something a little more on video, but like I say, ghosts can be a little camera shy. And what happened this afternoon, I'm not even sure if that was paranormal activity or something that was going to fall anyway. But still, you never can tell. But I do want to thank the good people here at the Brass Armadillo for allowing me to film here and to stay after hours and get a look around and have the opportunity to try and capture this ghost on camera, even if they are being a little elusive. But once again, I want to thank them all. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I just wish that the ghosts were a little more active, but you know how it goes when you've got cameras running. Once again, I would like to thank the staff and vendors at the Brass Armadillo in the West Valley in Goodyear for opening up their store and their stories to me. I am truly appreciative. If you liked the video, please like it down below, and please tell me what you think in the comments section. And please subscribe to my channel because I don't want you missing out on anything that's coming your way. Once again, I am William McQueen, and to all of you, farewell.